Greetings, everyone, and welcome. We are delighted to have you here for our virtual USDA Science Showcase and Innovation Challenge reveal. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Sana Baig, and I serve as USDA's Deputy Undersecretary for REE, the Research, Education, and Economics Mission Area, where I help lead and manage USDA's roughly $4 billion scientific enterprise, which is home to some of the world's best and brightest agricultural innovators, economists, statisticians, grant makers, science leaders, and researchers, all working to ensure that we can nourish our booming global population while healing the planet and building more prosperous communities. We have a jam-packed program planned for you today, and we really are so excited to be able to spotlight the really cool, cutting edge, and high impact science and research that is being brought to life through USDA investments and collaborations. The USDA science community recognizes that our work would simply not be possible without the strong and growing partnerships that we have forged with organizations across all sectors. Through these partnerships, we have pushed the boundaries of what is possible through agricultural science over many generations to accelerate both the development and the deployment of low-cost, high-tech, and tailored solutions for agriculture entities across the entire supply chain. Today, you will learn about some of these breakthrough solutions in action from a variety of speakers who have leveraged USDA support to do some groundbreaking things. Agricultural production is inherently risky and always evolving. That is why the United States has long prioritized investments in basic and applied science, particularly so our producers can always remain one step ahead of the next challenge, so they can continue to be profitable, so they can increase sustainable food production and effectively steward our land and our forests, especially as the impacts of climate change become more severe. And right now, we know that the agriculture sector is facing many overlapping and unprecedented challenges, such as an aging producer population, where more than 1/3 of all US producers are currently 65 or older. Or challenges like shrinking farmland, of which we have lost 20 million acres in the United States between the 2017 and 2022 Census of Agriculture data collection years. That is roughly the size of the state of Maine. And we're seeing the continued closure of small and mid-sized farm operations, directly impacted by an increasingly consolidated and concentrated industry, one where only 1% of farms take in 42% of all sales. On the horizon, we also know that by 2050, we will have about 2 billion more mouths to feed, which will require about 70% more food, 30% more water, and 50% more energy. These obstacles before us are great, but more importantly, so are the opportunities to innovate and to overcome. A bold ag innovation agenda will help us meet this moment as it has throughout our history. During this administration, USDA has acted with urgency to revolutionize our agri-food systems for the many and the most, with a focus on cultivating the next generation of food and ag leaders, harnessing both emerging technologies and ancestral knowledge, and uplifting communities that have been historically left behind. And that is exactly why, in June, USDA and the Foundation for Food and Agriculture Research launched the Nourishing Next Generation Agri-Food Breakthroughs Innovation Challenge. This innovation challenge was a call to action, really for early career scientists to put forth dynamic and disruptive project proposals that develop innovations at the intersection of nutrition security, equity and justice, and climate-smart agriculture, because we recognize that these three challenges are intertwined and must be confronted together. We were seeking fresh ideas that have the potential to move beyond incremental change and to forge lasting and transformative change. We challenged transdisciplinary teams led by those who have received a PhD within the past 10 years to catalyze new discoveries and mobilize breakthrough research that will simultaneously tackle these truly important societal challenges. Now, I'll say that USDA and FFAR were blown away by the interest and the enthusiasm we received from early career scientist-led teams from around the world. The Innovation Challenge call for proposals yielded 91 applications from academia, government, and industry across 10 countries in Europe, Asia, Africa, South America, North America, and Australia. We received project proposals that cut across all ag sectors in support of a dynamic range of communities. The proposals that came in far exceeded our hopes for the challenge. I am so pleased to share that during today's event, we will be announcing the 3 Innovation Challenge winners. These projects will be announced throughout today's program, so be sure to stay on for the entirety of the program today. We're really proud, in addition to that, to showcase USDA's work and our commitment to cultivating the next generation of food and ag scientists leading the way. And with that, it is now my great pleasure to introduce USDA's Chief Scientist and REE Undersecretary, Dr. Shavonda Jacobs-Young. Welcome, Dr. Jacobs-Young. The floor is now yours.
Hello, everyone, and thank you, Deputy Undersecretary Baig, for kicking off the program. We're so excited to have you all here. As USDA's Chief Scientist, there is nothing I love more than highlighting our cutting-edge scientific innovations, solutions, and partnerships that are driving real, meaningful impacts in communities across America and around the world. We want to share the good news about the work USDA Science and Research is doing every day to help put safe and nutritious food on our table and to create the sustainable, comfortable, and value-added products that we all know and love. USDA Science is really all around us. Think about the breakfast you had this morning. Maybe you had some blueberries in your oatmeal. Well, did you know that most of the blueberry varieties we enjoy today can be traced back to a USDA breeding program? Also, USDA Science has shown that a diet of blueberries improves motor skills and night vision, reverses short-term memory loss, and it may be possible to overcome genetic predispositions of Alzheimer's disease. At USDA, we have a long-standing history of driving innovation in science that leads to major advancements in our ag and food systems worldwide. For example, seedless grapes, fire-resistant cotton, Roma tomatoes, and frozen foods are largely thanks to USDA research. Our science and innovation are essential to helping us provide for a growing population while taking on some of the greatest challenges of our time. USDA has met this pivotal moment through historic investments in farmers, rural communities, ag innovation, workforce development, renewable energy, conservation, urban ag and forestry, nutrition security, and so much more. We've deployed billions of dollars through the American Rescue Plan, the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law, and the Inflation Reduction Act to benefit U.S. communities, not just in the short term, but for generations to come. Over the past 3.5 years, U.S. Secretary of Agriculture, Tom Vilsack, has challenged USDA to focus on transforming our ag systems to be more sustainable, equitable, nourishing, and prosperous than ever before. USDA Science is charged with using research and innovation to create a better food and agricultural system for everyone, a system that is better for the environment, that preserves precious natural resources, that gives farmers and producers an opportunity to thrive, that strengthens rural communities, and that ensures everyone has access to safe, nutritious food. This charge is outlined in our USDA Science and Research Strategy. The strategy is a bold 3-year vision outlining USDA's 5 highest scientific priorities to meet the needs of the world while simultaneously tackling intersectional issues like climate change, food and nutrition insecurity, and more. The strategy is a call to action for everyone to join us in aligning and furthering research in these 5 specific priority areas, which are accelerating innovative technologies and practices, driving climate smart solutions, bolstering nutrition security and health, cultivating resilient ecosystems, and translating research into action. Throughout today's webinar, you'll get to see how these priorities come to life through innovative projects and partnerships that are pushing the scientific boundaries of what is possible. USDA is already making tremendous progress in these priority areas through hallmark initiatives like Aim for Climate, USDA's Ascend for Better Health, and our Next Gen program. Through the Agriculture Innovation Mission for Climate, Aim for Climate, we are driving climate smart solutions around the globe. USDA recognizes that galvanizing global action is key to ensuring food security while enhancing agriculture's ability to address the causes and manage the consequences of climate change. For this reason, the US and the United Arab Emirates launched Aim for Climate. Since its launch, Aim for Climate partners have mobilized $17 billion in climate smart ag and food systems innovation worldwide, and formed a historic climate smart agriculture coalition with over 600 partners. Aim for Climate is a shining example of the impactful progress that can be made when different sectors and countries are at the table proposing big, bold solutions together. Just last week, during New York Climate Week, Aim for Climate published a report detailing the collective progress made through the initiative and its partners. It details the global action taken through Aim for Climate to create a more food secure world where climate change is a challenge of the past. I can't imagine a day where we don't have to worry about climate change. We hope to institutionalize the initiative's progress and build on its success for many years to come. Now, another priority area where USDA is laser focused is bolstering nutrition security and health. Today, 6 in 10 people have at least one chronic disease, and 4 in 10 people have 2 or more. The good news is chronic diseases, including some cancers, are largely preventable through proper nutrition and healthy lifestyles. We know that people respond differently to food depending on many factors. Equipping individuals, families, and communities with precise nutrition research and support helps people live their best and healthiest lives. At the end of 2022, USDA launched the Agriculture Science Center of Excellence for Nutrition and Diet for Better Health, or Ascend for Better Health. Ascend brings together scientists, partner organizations, and communities to deliver science-based solutions that promote and elevate nutrition security for all Americans. Under the Ascend initiative, USDA launched a pilot nutrition hub at Southern University and A&M College to provide African American community members locally and nationwide with tailored nutrition information. Building on this effort, USDA will reach even more communities through a $4.5 million investment to establish 3 new nutrition hubs focusing on Hispanic, tribal, and insular communities. Now, let me take a second to focus on a common thread you'll find throughout today's webinar, which is an emphasis on developing the next generation of agriculture professionals. Last year, USDA launched the Next Gen program, a more than $262 million investment in minority-serving institutions to foster the next generation of diverse food and ag leaders. Next Gen is a historic opportunity to provide life-changing scholarships, internships, fellowships, experiential learning opportunities, and job matching. This program is meant to recruit, train, and retain the best and the brightest people into agriculture, which is one of the most innovative and fun sectors to be in. So more than 60 institutions involved will support over 20,000 possible future food and ag professionals, which our industry desperately needs. We need young people to come into agriculture with passion, energy, and fresh perspectives, ready to take on ag innovation to the next level. That is why we are so excited for the Innovation Challenge in today's project reveal. so we can showcase and uplift the early career scientists who submit extremely innovative and high impact proposals. With that, and without further ado, I will now pass the virtual stage over to Dr. Deirdre Chester, the Director of USDA's Office of the Chief Scientist, to introduce our first Flash Talk speaker. Dr. Chester, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jacobs-Young. So this science showcase provides an opportunity to highlight some of our cutting-edge scientific research that is either funded by USDA or carried out by USDA scientists. So our first Flash Talk on robotic technology for climate-smart harvesting, I would like to welcome Dr. Stephen Mirsky from USDA ARS. This is a joint program with FarmNG that is supported by funding from the National Institute of Food and Agriculture's Organic Research and Education Initiative. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate being part of the event today. I'm showcasing a NIFA-funded project that is actually a global project that involves partners in Denmark and Australia and US scientists. And the goal is to develop the ability to manage weeds in organic systems using organic herbicides that are very difficult from an economics perspective when you're trying to apply them broadly across a field. But what if we could put very small micro volumes on weeds that are growing in the row with a crop? And so this is a schematic that just illustrates sort of the scope of the science here. Like, we're trying to develop a platform agnostic technology. So whether it's working on a tractor, whether it's working on a robot, the idea is that there's cameras out front that are seeing into crop row weeds. And then there is a technology out back that is putting micro volumes of organic herbicides onto those weeds. Products that we've tested to work well and have high control efficacy, but it's just an economic constraint to do it at scale. Next slide, please. So here, as we were developing this technology, we also explored the application of using this on a robotic platform. Shortly into the grant, we discovered a startup company, FarmNG, that was building very modular robotic platforms. So we thought they would be a nice robotic platform to test this on. And so you can see here, we found this print head that produces micro volumes of herbicides. You can see how small the amount of volume of liquid that we can put out of this nozzle, and it's mounted onto this robotic platform. As I said, it can also be mounted onto a tractor. Here's lighting systems and camera systems up at the top, right above that print head, that is seeing where the weeds are and then targeting them. And this image on the right just highlights that you can see where we are targeting weeds in a row where there's both crops and weeds, and you can see the liquid dyed blue to be able to showcase where we are having the organic herbicide active and not as we drive down that pass. Next slide, please. And I would just highlight that this requires a massive amount of training data to train for these computer vision applications. And so this is part of a much larger enterprise that is funded largely by USDA ARS and other partnerships with commodity boards and NIFA to develop, national plant image repositories that we can train, basically facial recognition, but for plants. So we can see the weeds and then directly target those weeds. And this is just highlighting a very large national effort to develop these image repositories. Well, thank you for having me here, part of your flash session. It's great to be here at this event.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mirsky. It's very exciting to hear about your project, and just to know that this project will not only support large farmers, but also those smallhold farmers, which are very important stakeholder to us here at USDA. So here to announce one of our Innovation Challenge selected projects is the Foundation for Food and Agricultural Research Executive Director, Dr. Sahara Moon Chapatin. Dr. Sahara Moon Chapatin is the Executive Director of the FFAR, and she's been there since 2022. She's been committed to building partnerships in support of collaborative science. Since receiving her doctorate in plant pathology from Harvard University, she has held several leadership roles across many organizations, including USDA, the U.S. Botanic Garden, and the U.S. Agency for International Development. So welcome, Dr. Sahara Moon Chapatin.
Thank you, Dr. Chester. Thank you all so much for joining. Earlier this summer, FFAR partnered with USDA to launch this innovation challenge designed to support the next generation of food and agriculture scientists and invest in cutting-edge research. For those of you not familiar with FFAR, we were created in the 2014 Farm Bill to form public-private partnerships that fund bold food and agriculture research. In addition to funding this research, a cornerstone of FFAR's mission is supporting scientific workforce development. This innovation challenge exemplifies the work that FFAR does best, seeking bold research ideas to address complex challenges, supporting future scientific leaders, and furthering investment in agricultural research. FFAR invests in scientific innovation to ensure that we are better prepared to address future challenges and take advantage of the many opportunities to enhance food and agriculture production. We know that research can support producer productivity and resilience. It can bolster environmental health. It can protect crops and animals from pests and pathogens. And it can ensure that consumers continue to have access to high-quality, nutritious food. I'm delighted to say that in reviewing the submissions for the challenge, we received so many truly groundbreaking and innovative proposals from early career scientists that bring new expertise and ideas to the table. We were thrilled by the enthusiastic response to this unique call to action that supports high-risk, high-reward research. And now I am excited to announce one of the Innovation Challenge selected projects, Dr. Gina Oliver with From the Land, LLC. Dr. Oliver and her team submitted an exciting project that proposes to enrich mealworms with essential fats to increase the quantity in poultry feed, thereby increasing the quality of essential fats in poultry products like chicken and eggs. I'd now like to welcome Dr. Oliver. Congratulations, and thank you for being here today.
Oh, thank you so much. And hello, everyone. Thank you, everyone that's part of this initiative and making it happen. We're so excited to be selected. Part of the major reason or how this idea had come about was my partner and I, Richard Hutchison. We started From the Land, which is an ag tech innovation startup, in hopes to really create innovations that can increase on-farm income, specifically for small agricultural enterprises, so small businesses. And with this project, we want to enrich insects, so mealworms, with those very healthy omega-3 fatty acids, which we mostly think about getting mostly from fish. Yet there's not enough fish in the oceans to produce these fats for everyone. And we want to change that. And so we chose growing and selling mealworms as a protein source. And we've been doing that for the last 4 years. And yet doing more research, we saw this opportunity that mealworms can not only be a fantastic protein source, but we can alter their fat composition to make them more healthy for feeding our livestock like chickens. So in turn, we can have more people, more communities have access to these healthy fats. When we had this idea, we reached out to some experts. First, Dr. Brenda Opert from the USDA Agriculture Research Service, and she loved this idea and brought on Dr. Marche Lorenzen from North Carolina State University. And these two scientists are amazing and have really brought this idea into something that's exciting. And we were very excited to submit this and have it be awarded. The impact that we want to make is not just for having healthier livestock so we're better stewards for our animals, but also to increase on-farm income for small farmers and mid-sized farmers, and have this value-added product to be a part of our larger food chain. Thank you so much. And again, we are excited to get to work. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Oliver. The hugest congratulations to you and your team for being one of the selected Innovation Challenge projects. I know that I look forward to seeing the outcomes of your project and how this will impact the food and agriculture industry. And now I would like to invite Dr. Chester back to the virtual stage to introduce our next speaker. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chappeton, and congratulations, Dr. Oliver. So our next flash talk is on sustainable protein innovation, and Miss Kathleen Slingerland from Nature's Find is here to present. This project is supported by funding from the National Institute of Food and Agriculture's USDA Small Business Innovation Research Grant. Thank you so much, Ms. Slingerland.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chester, for the introduction, and thank you to the USDA for the invite to represent Nature's Find at this very wonderful event. The Stories of Nature's Find incorporates many areas in alignment with the USDA Science and Research Strategy, but plays a pivotal role in the innovation, nutrition, and translation pillars. Our story begins with a microbe named Fusarium strain flavolapis, which has origins in an acidic hot spring at Yellowstone National Park. We use this remarkable microbe to grow via fermentation, an ingredient we call FFAR, which is a nutritional fungi protein that's made into a wide variety of delicious vegan foods, like our meatless breakfast patties and our dairy-free FFAR yogurt. And I also have some slides to accompany this presentation. If you'd like to switch to the next slide, please. And then in the early days of our business, Nature's Find received funding from the USDA to support our research and production initiatives. Years later, we brought FFAR into foods in stores nationwide, and we continue to grow and work on projects that achieve our mission of nourishing people and the planet. And in alignment with, and next slide, please. Oh, it looks like it's loading. And next slide, please. Thank you. And in alignment with the USDA Science and Research Strategy, Nature's Find accelerates innovative technologies and practices. We have even started to explore what's beyond food. And if you could go back to the previous slide, I could show an example of such innovations. Right. Using FFAR combined with agricultural waste inputs, we have developed a novel biomaterial to create a durable, composite, bio-based leather alternative that's entirely vegan. At scale, this material will mark a significant reduction in resource consumption, greenhouse gas emissions, and pollution compared to existing leather alternatives. And this new platform of high-performance materials can impact a wide array of applications, from accessories to footwear and furniture and vehicle interiors, all while reducing the impact on the planet. Next slide, please. Additionally, to showcase more innovation, in 2022, we secured a spot on SpaceX 25. The SpaceX flight brought our microbe to space in a briefcase-sized box, demonstrating FFAR protein can grow successfully most anywhere, even in a microgravity environment, hopefully making way for a new low-maintenance food source for deep space travel. And it's equally as critical that Nature's Find do good in our community and hometown. We're headquartered in the former Union Stockyards on the south side of Chicago, the epicenter of the 20th century meatpacking industry. In that same space, we now grow sustainable protein and have created several new jobs. We intend to invest in and revitalize other communities across the globe similarly. Next slide, please. And from a nutrition security and health perspective, FFAR protein is a good source of quality protein and fiber. Fiber is an underconsumed nutrient in the American diet, and FFAR contains all essential amino acids, which is very important for nutrition security, especially with a growing population. Next slide, please. And translating research into action is important, and Nature's Fine team communicates critical nutrition and sustainability information in a digestible format to the general population via our blog and other communications. In addition, Nature's Fine participates in many partnerships with governmental and non-governmental partners, such as an Innovation Sprint partner with the Aim for Climate initiative, and as a founding member of the Fungi Protein Association. And the foods in this image were all created with our FI protein, showcasing the limitless possibilities of what could be made with FI. And in conclusion, we believe that the greatest problem for our planet is how we feed everybody and how to sustain future generations. Traditional methods of agriculture could either be capacity constrained or resource inefficient in delivering needed protein in the future. Ensuring our world's growing population has access to safe, nutritious, and sufficient food, specifically high-quality protein, is critical. And climate change and the challenges facing the food supply system aren't problems facing one company or one industry. They're universal challenges with solutions requiring innovation and inspiration. And by choosing optimism, we could find a way to do more with less, managing our shrinking resources while feeding the growing global population. And as a society, we must prioritize bringing agricultural and other innovations to the forefront through collaborative efforts and policies that overcome longstanding resistance to change. Providing a system to feed the world in a way that's good for society and the health of the planet is an audacious goal, but it's one that Nature's Fine is prepared to meet with FI. Thank you all for your time, and please feel free to visit our website at naturesfine.com to learn more and connect. And with gratitude, I'd like to welcome Dr. Chester back to introduce our next speaker.
Thank you so much, Ms. Slingerman. That was just very exciting. You know, you have all of my favorite things that you're doing, food and accessories and purses and shoes, but this is some of the cutting edge research that we are funding through USDA. So thank you for that highlight. And next, I want to bring Dr. Jacobs-Young back on, and she's going to announce another one of our Innovation Challenge projects. Back to you.
Well, first, I want to thank Kathleen for all of the delicious yogurt I had a chance to eat during the Innovation Forum. And so thank you, Dr. Chester, for bringing me back to the floor. Now it's my distinct honor to announce the next Innovation Challenge project and their team lead, Dr. Yang. Dr. Yang is with the University of British Columbia at the Vancouver campus, and her team proposed a cutting-edge project focused on the development of a novel, nutrient-dense, and climate-smart post-harvest coating to increase access and availability of highly perishable fresh produce. This project is in a collaboration with USDA's Agricultural Research Service. Welcome, Dr. Yang.
Thank you, Dr. Jacobs-Young. Thank you so much. I'm very excited to be selected for this funding call. I want to thank you all the USDA and FFAR selection committee, and also our multidisciplinary team members. We are a multidisciplinary team composed of myself and Dr. Barbara Stefanska in nutrition science at the University of British Columbia in Canada. And we also have the Leah Stringer as a clinical and research dietitians, and Dr. Xiang No from USDA. So we are very excited to work on this project. The initial idea emerged from recognizing the gaps in current post-harvest techniques and the need for a holistic solution that can tackle multiple aspects simultaneously to enhance food and nutrition security in fresh produce. So as we all know that the agriculture sectors in the US and global and face some challenge in ensuring the safety and high nutritional quality of fresh produce, and particularly regarding pesticide residues, microbial contamination, post-harvest decrease in nutrients, and post-harvest produce losses. So some traditional post-harvest processing methods, such as washing with water or some synthetic chemicals, they are inadequate in removing all these contaminants and may also even reduce the nutritional value of the fresh produce. And commercial wax has been commonly used to prevent the post-harvest losses, but there are also health risks due to the petroleum-based wax sources. So by working with our US and the University of British Columbia communities and partners, and our team also realized that the current post-harvest practice are also limited by only offer a single functionality, and they cannot simultaneously improve food safety and nutrition security through a single-step process. And this also limit people's access to safe and nutritious food, which has a direct impact on equity and opportunities. To realize these challenges and issues, our team proposed, some of the innovative ideas. We seek to develop sustainable and multifunctional solutions that integrates the reduction of pesticide and microbial contamination and can extension of shelf life of the fresh produce and enhancement of the nutritional value of the fresh produce. So we developed some sustainable materials called metal phenolic networks, which are composed of essential metals or phenolic components. We use it as a novel washing solutions. And these ideas was inspired by the unique ability of metal phenolic networks to form strong interactions with chemical and biological contaminants, such as pesticide and bacteria. And these networks can also form complex uncoated surface, which can create edible and antimicrobial coating solutions. So our innovative approach can address the limitations of traditional post-harvest practice. So they can ensure fresh produce is free from pesticide and microbial contamination. And it can also form edible coatings, which can reduce the post-harvest loss and enhance the nutrition benefits of the fresh produce. So we believe our project will generate transformative impacts that will significantly benefit the food and the nutrition security of fresh produce and also promote equity opportunities, because we use the novel combination of essential metals and phenolic components, and this can enhance food safety and also improve the nutrition qualities. And it can also lead to better public health outcomes, and by providing safer and more nutrient-rich food options. And we also, the metal phenolic networks we developed is also a cost-effective, multifunctional solutions. So this will make our technology accessible to underrepresented communities, for example, those in rural areas or low-income families. And so small-scale farmers can also benefit by making nutritious food more affordable and widely available. But this is not just about the safety and affordabilities. And this project is also deeply rooted in sustainability, because we use edible and biodegradable materials and for forming coatings, which can also reduce food waste. So our project can also contribute to a greener, more resilient agri-food systems. So our team will work closely with US communities, partners, and the University of British Columbia partners. We will also gather real-world feedbacks to ensure our technology are practical, effective, and truly impactable. So this collaborative approach will drive US and global agriculture innovation, will boost the economic growth for farmers, and ensure safe and healthy food for consumers worldwide. And at the end, I want to thank you so much for these opportunities, and being selected is very excited to make us work on this project. Thank you so much.
Wow, this is truly bold and cutting edge work. I can't wait to see all the impacts that your novel coating will bring to the ag and food industry and its many benefits for our American consumers. Congratulations again, Dr. Yang and team. Thanks for sharing more about your project and been putting forth such a visionary idea. And we know that you're going to work very hard, and we can't wait to see the outcomes. I now invite Dr. Chester back to the virtual stage to introduce our next speaker.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jacobs-Young. And again, congratulations, Dr. Yang. And so up next, so right now we have our last flash talk, which really highlights innovation, and it is on ARS cloud seeding. And Dr. Dan Martin, who is an ARS research engineer from USDA ARS, is here to present. Dr. Martin.
All right, thank you, Dr. Chester, appreciate it. If y'all could bring my slide presentation up, great, thank you. Today I want to talk to you a little about a project, a research project we've been doing for the last almost 10 years now on rain enhancement using charged water droplets. Next, please. As we know, we have had severe drought in the U.S. over the last several years. Most notably, a couple of years ago, 2021, it hit the West Coast very hard. Next slide, please. And then just last year, it moved more to the Southern Plains area. Next slide, please. So we know in the U.S., it doesn't really matter where we live. Eventually, we're going to be impacted by drought, whether in the West Coast or Southern Plains or on the East Coast. And what that does is that affects our production of both food and fiber. Next, please. The U.S. Federal Crop Insurance Program has tracked losses, agricultural losses, over the last 30 years or so. And as you can see in this graph, those losses tend to increase year over year. And then there are just certain times when it's truly impactful, such as in 2012 and 2022. Next slide, please. If you look specifically at those losses, those agricultural losses due to drought and high temperature, the numbers on the left are in billions of dollars. In 2020 and 2012, it was almost $15 billion worth of loss due to drought and high temperature. And in 2022, over $10 billion. So we're seeing these huge economic impacts, not just economic impacts. We have less food and fiber as a result of this. Next slide, please. So one of the technologies that has been used for decades is using flares containing either silver iodide or calcium chloride to seed clouds. Now, these aircraft with flare racks behind them on the trailing edges on the wings, they ignite flares, and then smoke from those flares goes up into the clouds and provides a seed to enhance rainfall. Next slide, please. But what happens with these is they have silver iodide, calcium chloride. There is some environmental concern about having silver in our water supply. So several years ago, we looked at using something other than these conventional technologies, and it uses an agricultural aircraft, such as what you see before you, with just tap water. Next slide, please. And what we do is we take the tap water in the hopper of these large agricultural aircraft, and that is ejected in these nozzles back. And what you see, those silver rings, those are electrodes that can impart a high electrical charge on those droplets. Next slide, please. Back in 2015, we did initial wind tunnels testing with these nozzles. And you can see the spray plume there and the electrode that's imparting that charge to it. Next slide, please. That research worked so well that we rented facilities at Eglin Air Force Base and a very large climate-controlled facility at their McKinley Climatic Laboratory that showed us exactly what we wanted to see as well. So next slide, please. In 2017, we teamed up with the Texas Weather Modification Association and did field testing in West Texas using this technology. Next slide, please. That testing worked out very well, and this is the whole premise of the animation here that you see. We have the ag aircraft releasing the charged water droplets. The inflow and updraft from convective forces takes those charged droplets up into the clouds, and about 15 to 20 minutes later, we see precipitation. Next slide, please. One more time. There we go. So in 2021, we applied for ARS-X funding, which we won. And this is the team that we used to do cloud seeding experiments, continue those seeding experiments in the summer of 2022. Next slide. The results we saw showed increases in all the major meteorological parameters: precip flux, precip mass, the volume of the clouds, and the lifetime of the clouds, how long they actually lasted. Next slide. This has led to patent opportunities for the technology through USDA. Next slide. That was finalized in fall of 2021. And there's a lot of popular press interest in this technology because without water, you can't grow food. And we need water also for just drinking. Next slide, please. So we were able to team up with the Texas Weather Modification Association. We were able to transfer that technology to the Texas, who is the largest convective cloud seeding program in the nation. Next slide. And that led to opportunities for us to receive awards, actually through the Federal Laboratory Consortium. Next slide. So that was recognized just this last year for the Excellence in Technology Transfer Award. Next slide. We also have publications that have come out of this work. Next slide. So in summary, ARS-X funding was critical to the success of our project. The data that we acquired will lend additional scientific credibility for publications and future technology transfer. And although there were challenges all along the way, the opportunities that we had far outweighed the difficulties. ARS-X and other USDA programs that spur innovation should continue to, so that other ARS scientists have the opportunity to go beyond. Next slide, please. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, Dr. Martin. And forgive me, I forgot that ARS-X prize was the funder of your research. And so what we do know is we know that by the year 2050, we'll have to feed close to 9 billion mouths. So this is exactly the type of cutting edge innovative research ideas that we'll need. So thank you so much for your work in developing a revolutionary technique of seed clouding to produce more rain. Thank you so much. And now, to announce the last one of our Innovation Challenge selected projects is USDA Undersecretary Dr. Jacobs-Young. Back to you, Dr. Jacobs-Young.
Awesome, Dr. Chester. My goodness. Thank you to all of today's Splash Talk speakers. You've really been incredible. Dr. Martin, I remember when you guys were selected for the ARS-X award. And for many, they should understand that sometimes it doesn't take $1 billion to get a great idea out there, and the opportunity to get started and to leverage that initial investment can make a huge difference in paradigm shifting. And so just excited about all of the TED Talks today, from robotic farm equipment developed by USDA and our partners, to Nature's Fund, who leverage federal grant funding to expand their business, and to USDA's cloud seeding technique to encourage rainfall. Each of these speakers shines a spotlight on USDA's agricultural R&D investments that will transform the world. So thank you to all of today's Splash Talk speakers. You did a remarkable job. We appreciate your time and your participation. Now, on to the last and final Innovation Challenge project announcement. Dr. Moore at Columbia University in New York and her team proposed a project centered around climate-smart rice cultivation for equity in Puerto Rico. This project is in partnership with the University of Puerto Rico. Dr. Moore couldn't make it today because she's currently in the field in Uganda. But here to tell us more about this innovative research is Dr. Rodriguez Cruz. Welcome, Dr. Rodriguez Cruz. Thank you for joining us today, and congratulations on the selection of your team's Innovation Challenge project. Can you share a little more about this project, how the idea came to be, and describe the transformative impacts it intends to have?
Thank you, Dr. Jacobs-Young, for having me, and I'm very grateful for this opportunity. So thank you to the USDA FFAR, and I'm very excited to carry on this project, which we have entitled Reimagine and Innovative Cultivation for Equity in Puerto Rico, where we are focusing to reintegrate and expand rice cultivation in our islands. And this assignment is shared across our transdisciplinary team, which is very important to mention. Lucisca, Jess Fanso, Seina Latwe from Columbia University, Katia Vilés, Juárez Camacho from the Instituto para la Acción y la Investigación en la Agroecología in Puerto Rico, and also the University of Puerto Rico at UTWAL, and of course our PI, Dr. Maya Moore, with whom I did my PhD. We haven't been graduated 3 years ago. We always wanted to collaborate together, and when this opportunity shined, we hopped in on a call, and we invited Yala, with who I've been collaborating since I came back to Puerto Rico. And they have a broad history of doing farmer-to-farmer network, participatory research with small-scale, medium-scale agroecological farmers, doing work on outreach, advocacy here in Puerto Rico. And so we got together because we wanted to do a project that center farmer voices. And so Yala is very well embedded in these farmer networks here in Puerto Rico, and I myself have been working over 10 years with farmers and fishers. And so one element was the main connector across our conversation, and that was rice, arroz. And here in Puerto Rico, rice and beans is very important part of our cultural and our food waste. And at one point, Puerto Rico harvested millions of pounds of rice. Today is almost everything is imported. But we know that some farmers still work on dryland rice. They still protect those ancestral ways of farming and knowledges. So in this project, this participatory project, we are bringing farmers to the research table for us to better understand how to reintegrate rice and what practices are being done and how can we expand and scale up rice production in Puerto Rico in a place that we know that local food production is very important for supporting local food and nutrition security in light of climate impacts, not only here, but also afar that disrupt supply chains. And so I think one of the main outcomes of this project is just to be hopefully be an example of how participatory farmer-led research can not only expand scientific knowledge, but also create applicable and meaningful outcomes here in our islands. And I think it's important to note that this project would allow many students of the University of Puerto Rico at Utuado, who mainly are farmers or want to be farmers or have farms, to have their first research experience, so supporting this scientific workforce. And also what we produce here in Puerto Rico is not only relevant to other islands, to other tropical food systems, but what we know with climate change, what we learn here about rice cultivation and doing it in a climate resilient way can also inform the southern US and rice production in the continental United States. So certainly we are very excited, but mostly to do this work alongside farmers and also to not rescue, but give visibility to that Puerto Rican ancestral knowledge that we know is very important to navigate these climate challenges that we are facing today and that we're going to be facing tomorrow as well. So thank you again, Dr. Jacob Jones and USDA FFAR team for this opportunity.
Incredible, incredible. This is exactly the kind of project the Innovation Challenge was looking for, a high-risk, high-reward venture that will produce major breakthroughs for nutrition security while mitigating climate change impacts and advancing equity. Bravo to you, Dr. Rodriguez-Cruz and the team. Thank you for your time today and for sharing more about this breathtaking breakthrough idea. Congratulations again to the 3 Innovation Challenge projects recommended for funding. We challenge you to think outside the box, to think big and come up with ideas that will really make a difference. And you all delivered. To Dr. Rodriguez-Cruz, Yang, Drs. Oliver, and your teams, you put forth 3 highly innovative and bold project ideas that will change the game for the future of food and agriculture. Thank you again for rising to this challenge. We can't wait to see your projects reach new heights. Congratulations and thank you as well to the 11 project finalists who submitted high-risk, high-reward research proposals. You made our selection committee's job very hard because the projects were exciting and innovative. Thank you for daring to shoot big. From leveraging AI to developing novel genomic approaches to creating new climate-smart tools and so much more, we were blown away by the creativity, the ingenuity, and brilliance of these ideas. Please know we support and champion your pursuits and endeavors. You early career researchers are the science leaders of the future. Keep up the great work and pursue those game-changing ideas. Thank you all for your submissions. For more information on today's 3 selected Innovation Challenge projects and the top 11 finalists, please visit the USDA FFAR Innovation Challenge webpage. Thank you also goes out to our Innovation Challenge Selection Committee members for making today's announcement possible. These folks spanning across organizations work together to make the Innovation Challenge come to fruition. Thank you to our partners at FFAR, our fantastic partners in this Innovation Challenge. We appreciate your partnership in funding truly disruptive work and to bolster and advance our next-gen ag and food scientists. To all those from USDA and FFAR who helped bring the Innovation Challenge to life, thank you for your hard work and dedication. Your work is noticed and tremendously appreciated. In closing, for those tuning in today, thank you for your time. And we hope you have energized and you will leave energized and motivated by our Innovation Challenge projects and USDA's revolutionary research. I challenge you to take a story or an interesting piece of information you learned today about USDA science and to share that nugget of wisdom with your friends and your family. With your help, we can share the power of USDA science and the work it does every day to create a brighter future for us all. Thank you for your time and have a great rest of your day.